male or female, friend or foe, and you just gotta say it.
Oh, you bastard.
You know what I'm saying? Just say it with me. Comes a time in everyone's life, male or female, friend or foe, and you just gotta say it.
Oh, you bastard.
You know what I'm saying? Just say it with me.
Oh, you bastard. Oh, you bastard.
Say it. Just say it with me now.
Oh, you bastard. Oh, you bastard. Oh, you bastard.
When you're walking down the street and you see a nice arse.
Oh, you bastard.
When you notice the price of something's gone up in the shops.
Oh, you bastard.
When you stub your toe on the coffee table.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you bastard.
It's catchy that, isn't it? Covers all manner of sins.
Oh, you bastard. Oh, you bastard.
Sing it with me.
Oh, you bastard.
Oh, you bastard.
Oh, you bastard.
Oh, you sod. I've tried dog shit. Oh, you bastard. When times get hard, the shit's getting on your tits. Stuff's gone pear. Just say it. Say it with me.
Oh, you bastard.
All the people of the world.
Oh, you bastard.
It's one of those songs, just sing along.
Oh, you bastard.
Who's that over there?
Oh, you bastard.
Who's farting?
Oh, you bastard.
Someone's farted. Right, that's it. Anyway, off down the pub now. See you later.
You bastard.
If I asked you for your vote, would you lend it to me? In 1973, Jean-Paul Sartre wrote a seminal essay entitled Elections, a Trap for Fools. In it, he explained why voting for bourgeois political parties is a trap, because bourgeois political parties represent only the interests of private capital. 5 decades later, and the fact that your teenage daughter thinks that selling explicit images of herself on OnlyFans is a legitimate career path, perfectly illustrates the moral bankruptcy of neoliberal capitalism. The Scottish National Party are a bourgeois neoliberal political party. However, I'm not here simply to denounce the governing party of Scotland for operating essentially as a shell organisation for capital interest. Nor do I wish to discuss the SNP's insidious assimilation of identity politics as a calculated tactic to avoid addressing class inequality. And I'm not here to explain why any so-called independence secured by these monarchy-approving political careerists would amount to little more than a corporate rebrand of the existing British state and lead to the further subjugation of the Scottish people. I'm here to talk about my home.
Over the years, I've witnessed this town being occupied, gentrified, socially cleansed and commodified. And yet, despite everything that's wrong with Edinburgh, and let's be honest, there's a lot wrong with Edinburgh, from the bukkake of new student flats ejaculating across the landscape compared to the flaccid dribble of social housing, the explosion of Airbnbs that squeeze out local tenants, the flogging and hooring of every square metre of public space to crap hotels and fetid Etonian spivs like Underbelly, the Disneyfication of the Old Town, the social inequality, the middle class wankers, the festival of middle class wankers for the middle class wankers, the private schools of we middle class wankers, the extortionate Dalry Road Co-op, Stockbridge, the Evening News, Hearts. Despite all these horrors, truth be told, I still love this city. I even love some of the middle class wankers. In fact, some of the middle class wankers insist that I myself am a middle class wanker. But what I cannot love is an imposter. Buenas. Excuse the technicals. No idea. I mean, presumably you can hear me now. But let me know if you can. And I'll just go home. Morning, brothers and sisters. How yous doing? Good? As we get Christmas in the crosshairs, eh? Christmas in the crosshairs. I don't know what happened this morning with our non-audio intro, but I sorted it out. I just restarted the program, and that did it. That sorted it out. Anyway, put you on the telly, and that sorted out the sound. It wasn't your telly that was the problem then, but fair enough. Morning to you, my Ross. Right, well, thank you for the Christmas gift. There was no name in the parcel, but I ken who's sent this. Thomas Pynchon, and I haven't read it. I've never read any Thomas Pynchon. I've enjoyed the movie adaptations of like Inherent Vice and all that kind of stuff. But and I tell you what, it's on a sizable ledger. I can my old eyes can cope with this. So many thanks indeed. The greatest, wildest author of his generation. But yes, thank you to the mystery gift giver. But I ken who gave me that. I always get a Christmas present from certain people, and it's always appreciated, trust me. Right, who else is here? Big Ian, morning all. Morning to you, Big Ian. Or is that Big Lane? It looks like an L. It could be a Big Lane. What's been happening in the world? In this cruel culture to which we are subjects? I'll tell you what's not happening is I've not got any. That's not very good, is it? Where's my washboard? Where's my it's so happening today, eh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I've not got any what's going on?
After me care me baby mother go a market. Me say me and me baby
Come
mother go a
on,
market.
Monty.
Anybody King love is all I bring.
Somebody's trying to send me a message. She's like, key up with this phone today. There we go. This is a great track, this Chronixx. I'd highly recommend checking out. In fact, this is actually his album, his latest album, Exile.
Everybody stand up at them favorite stall. One man a chat the jelly, another one a sell carpet. Some of them a
How
art and craft. Same time
it's a Matrix attack. I think it is. I think it is. How fresh-faced do I look? Even just that was like just 5 years ago. Asking for people to lend me their vote, which a fair few of them did, considering. Respect to the 363. Appeal for the rich and you appeal for the poor. And a rebel Mr. Chronic, see the people adore. John Lindsay. Well, Beldam is replying to this, so it must be of some interest. Horrendous, fantastic achievement from our national team, belittled to this pish. Scottish cringe to the maximum. BBC Sport. A celebration of a landmark year in Scottish football. Ian does jokes. Is that not the guy that did the voice on Blue Peter or something? Or Big Brother, was it? Supercat scene. Jama! Hey! I tell you what, man, he is such a great artist. This is such a brilliant album, honestly. It's first class. Right. The guy that does the Big Brother voice. Let's have a listen to it. Sorry, right.
And Brazil. Everything changed in May 2019 BC, which to the majority of the UK means before Christ, but in Scotland is now officially known as before Steve Clark. And thanks to Steve Clark, plus...
It's fucking depressing, isn't it? Thank you very much, Jimmy the Piper. Much appreciated. It's kind of like it is the brutality. It's up there with, was it like David Tennant or somebody was singing the Proclaimers? It's like the same format of retarded television. Pacific Quay or Tammany Hall on Clyde, as I would refer to it as, because it's so corrupt. It's just a perpetual insult to our intelligence, isn't it? It's just like a constant abuse, a sort of cultural sodomy. That's basically what Pacific Quay deliver the Scottish people on a regular basis. In fact, continually, and have done. But it's also like, it's like the Ouijaification of everything, I mean, even Ouijas can't stand the Ouijaification of Scottish culture. But it's not like a subject that we haven't touched on What the X before. 16 minutes past 10. Is nobody on the Exosphere? Is the Exosphere Kev Spence? Fuck you. You can donate me a coffee for that, you cheeky. Morning Tech Quiz. I'd like to see you juggle these digital plates, pal. Hey, I'd like to see you. He might be a dab hand with the old fucking cooking and that. In fact, he is a good cook, but How's your Christmas feast sorted out? Have you got your I bet you've got your grass-fed turkey ordered and all the rest of it. He's probably got his own turkey. Good morning to you, Rebecca Radical. From one legend to another. We'll have to... I'm going to do a music show soon.
There's loads of great music coming out at the minute, loads of great artists. Lindsay Dre just dropped a really good album with Chris Grieve. I know Rebecca is tireless with her musical endeavours. There's loads of good stuff. And I noticed that Mark McGee's wrote a book about the Gyro Babies, so I'll need to get that. I'll need to get that with my stocking money. Right, let me return shortly, and we'll get to one of the main events. Hold on a minute, actually. Aye, tell you what. These are always on. Ball Deep and Foie Gras. You're not even joking. Reprobate. Deviant. Reprobate. Right, I'll be back in just a short moment. Didn't go anywhere, eh?
What can you see?
Mental. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Look at the fucking tents here. Wow.
Right outside the Edinburgh City Council.
Right outside the council.
Keep them warm in a corner and that.
Wow.
Feeling class as I'm walking through Gorgie, pants doing cock out, looking for an orgy. Fucking love it. New man not up Fountain Bridge, L suit bent down, looking for a quid. And my bare feet try to be discreet, roaming about up Princess Street. Fucking love it. Leave me alone, I'm no causing hassle, taking a shite inside the Edinburgh Castle. Oh wait, now it's no funny, I'm running out of baby and I heavy need money. Take a look, there's a house with its lights on. Hear a dad say to his son, right night son. I'll wait by the window for two. Lights go off so I begin to climb through. I land and I hear clickety clang. Result, it's the kids' piggy bank. Uno, dos, tres, cachos. That's four birds flicking on my arsehole. That's four herbs trying to give me a hassle. That's four ducks to the Adam's apple. Oh, I'm sorry miss, I'm always fucking angry when I'm on the piss. Yeah, I want to come back to my place. To do what? Get out my face.
Hi all, hope you're having a good day. I just want to talk to you about an area that means so much to me and which helped form my identity when I moved here. It's Jock's Lodge. It's a Jock's Lodge pub there, or the Barrel House, or the Willow, whatever your preference, or however depends how long you've lived here really, what you call it. Now look what they've done to this area. Working class, pubs, businesses, independent businesses, desecrated and shut down for the sake of capital and private development for student flats. It's a disgrace. See that pub over there? The Limelight. Well, let's get this lorry to go past first. My friendships were formed in that pub right there. Before every Edinburgh City game, we used to go in there, neck as many pints as we could, and head down the road via the William Hill, which is now not there anymore, to Meadowbank. Gone, boarded up. People's social lives ruined. Okay, we've moved to another pub now, but it's not the point. All the stories I've got from there that helped form the first book, Good Citizen, Bad Citizen, all started in there. Gone. And now see that big building over there? The Arts Centre, a hub of the community where children get free classes in the summer to do things like arts and other things as well, other classes. that's going to be pulled down, or earmarked to be pulled down for student housing. There you go. That's what they're doing to these working class areas here, destroying them. At least though, Mr. Hot Potato still stands, I suppose. I suppose that's a good thing. Just. Have a good one.
Please don't walk away.
Well, it's true. It's that's Ash Wilson, who's an author. He's written a book called Good Citizen, Bad Citizen. I think he's written a couple of books. I'll get the links for them in due course. But the plight of Old Jock's Lodge is close to my heart. But it's kind of like I thought it's tied a wee bit to what else has been going on, because well, you know, I noticed that the morning lads, morning to you, Belgium. I noticed that Basil Spence's, where is it again? I put it on my old Instagram. Does anybody follow Danny Boy? I noticed that Danny Boy's had his head kicked in with hammers, actually. He's been smashed up with hammers. He's a sort of lovable rogue, the brass father, you know, but he's come a cropper, which isn't very nice. Here's Absolute Riots, actually. Speaking of Rebecca Radical, what's going on here? One second. Dance for soccer. What can you say? You can't say finer than that. Fife's finest. So this was Basil Spence's fantastic. Turn that off. You might remember if you came to my live, I kind of went on about this a bit. This was this was an amazing building. Well, it is still there. It still exists. For now, I mean, look at it. It was, and people say, "Oh, it's minging inside and that." And it's like, well, it's been left to become rotten and minging. But they could have done something. They could have done something cool with it. It's a modern masterpiece, you know. And in the in the 80s and that, when you saw this building, it was like Blade Runner or something, as close to it as you could get. It felt like the future. Everyone always remembers it had fish. It had like a moat, you know, with fish, with carp in it and stuff. And it you know, I think this is a really quite a cool shot as well, you know. It's a special building. The bit down the bottom here, closest to where the park is, where the Crags is, It's got all these ornate trees and stuff. You know, it's a lush garden. It's a bit overgrown and stuff at the minute, obviously. But it was put in a state of managed decline. It was left. It was abandoned. They call it abandoned, but this is the terminology. Anyway, to fill you in, right? It was the council agreed a land deal for it, where it was this private housing development, and it was Bill Gates owned the development or something, right? And they bought it to build massively expensive properties, because you can see, I mean, the real estate price in Edinburgh is ridiculous, obviously, and with this vista, and I'm like going like this, with this vista here, you know, it's a phenomenal location. But people don't think about the fact that just down the road is the Dummy Dykes, which also shares, you know, this incredible vista, and that was built primarily for families, a whole estate of social housing. Now what has happened now is that this luxury development that was just going to be like, you know, investor-led developments, surprise, surprise, has fallen through. And they've abandoned and so they've switched the land deal to student flats. Student flat firm steps in. Oh, how great! But the problem with that is those of us who are a bit suspicious about these things and know a little bit more about how these things operate. The private developers, when they're building residential, they're obliged to provide a certain quota of affordable housing. I think maybe some social housing as well. So they don't really want to do that. They never really want to do that. So basically, the student flats don't have to provide any social housing, and basically that's what's happened here. Is the student flats basically take hold, and they end up getting the property there without having to provide any social housing whatsoever. Amazing place. Used to be up the commie most weekends in my ute, hanging around the flumes, etc. But that building was my favourite. It says Beldam. It was everybody's favourite building. It's everybody's favourite building. Sorry, I've lost my text here. Good morning to you. So now suddenly the whole area is just more student flats, basically. Where is my chat? Here it is. Right. So basically, it's a scam, and the same thing happened in Dundas Street. The same thing happened in Dundas Street with the big development there. And they switched from residential to student flats, and I think it's a scam. Now the problem with what's it called? The problem with this, I had my issue with this was more the fact that if they weren't going to provide a reasonable quota of social housing, they should have tried to do something interesting with this building for the city. The fact that this is now going to be, apparently this is going to be flattened. This is an outrage. It's recognised by the C20 Society as a globally recognised piece of modern architecture. It's the sort of thing you'd probably see in Mexico City. I don't know if anybody's ever been. Well, I don't know if anybody's ever been. For anybody who has ever been to Mexico City, see with this, Bob, the council's modus operandi is to buckle a community campaign. The community campaign then packs up, having achieved its objectives, and they come back to it a couple of years later. See the RBS site of Dundas Street, yeah, exactly. Same thing. That same thing that I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. That's Beldam saying that. I don't know how this can't be listed, which is in the Scottish Government's power, which would save this from being demolished. Why do we think that this is like, man? Sometimes I've got too many thoughts in my head at the same time. Why do we think that this happens, right? Well, we know why this happens. It happens because Edinburgh has no media of any note. The only media that we have is, you know, scraps, and the rest of it is just supplicant, just bended knee to private enterprise and whatnot. So I think there was a time where, had they wanted to do something to that building, there would have been an uproar within the whole of the city. But the city's been so atomised. You know, this is a feature of modernity, really. You know. No, it's not listed. Madame Guy thought it was listed, and it can't be touched. No, it's not listed. But then, why have we never seen a proper news report on it on Scotland Today or something like that? You know, it's not a Ouija interest. We're impoverished. We are an impoverished society. We are an impoverished country. And this city is all the worse for it. You know. So now that incredible building is going to go, and in its place will be a whole bunch of student flats, and those student properties are also double as holiday lets, as basically tourist, as sort of quasi hotel rooms, really. And most of these student flat companies are domiciled in the Cayman Islands. Ouija stand today. No real local news. Beldam says Donald Turville has packed in as well. I saw that. Turville has given up on his head. The Herald should give me Turville's job. How about that? Right, Calf and Salmon. I'll do Turville's job for twice the price. Maybe we can get Argonaut. I'll tell you something about Argonaut. It was quite funny. Maybe we can get Argonaut Books to spearhead a campaign. He can get signatures from Canadian trannies to save it. John McFadden sent me something interesting. Where is it? John McFadden. Where was he? Here. Check this out. So this is the official. We actually pay for this as well. We pay for this account. This is how Raj things get, right? Look at this, right? Edinburgh, the 25th of December doesn't look the same for everyone, and that's okay. If you're spending the day in Edinburgh with no fixed plans in place, or just fancy a different type of celebration, the city has so much to offer, from peaceful walks in and around the centre to cosy cafes and welcoming pubs for food and drink. We hope you enjoy your day and spend it exactly as you wish. Do you have any other recommendations for ways to spend the day in our beautiful city? Let us all know in the comments. We pay for this account, and I think we actually pay quite a lot of money. This Edinburgh thing, we were giving it about £1 million odd at one point out our coffers to promote who? Fucking Argonaut Books. Look. Fucking Argonaut Books has got, like, what's McFadden says, best PR on earth. I mean, he must have intel on these cats, eh? There must be something going on with this guy. What was his name again? Adam Barclay. Where's my bookmarks? We did our own one. Did I find it? Yeah, we did our own one, right? Forever Edinburgh, a couple of years ago. We made our own one, which looks like this.
In case you haven't already seen.
Anyway, that was our contribution to the Forever Edinburgh propagandising. Louise's, that was the Madonna book. My pals had them in the 90s. Victory! Exactly. So, is it too late? Is it too late to save Basil Spence's Scottish Widows building? It would seem so. It's all just a bit snide, isn't it? You know, they give the one planning permission reluctantly, and then they just convert it straight over to the next one. Right, let me. Morning, Bob. Morning, Macapella. I like how Chris Breaks put the D in the Ouija. I stopped doing it. I used to do it all the time. And then we had, a few years ago, we had an online debate about it. Folk got all funny about it, like, nah, there's no D. I always thought there was. I think we should bring back the D. Let's bring back the D in Ouija. So one of the things that's a bit raj is this, right? There's a sort of a pedophile treasure chest has been found. So they're cutting all community care. They're, everything's under threat in the city. Everything's under threat. They've taken everything from us. Everything's been converted into private. Public space has been gifted to private enterprise continually. And now the government have found £10 million to start the Tour de France. It comes after Edinburgh councillors agreed to set aside £1.7 million of income from the city's visitor levy to fund the opening stage, right? Why are we giving the Tour de Pedophile £1.7 million, right? The person who did this was Paul Lawrence. Paul Lawrence, right? Paul Lawrence changed his name. His original name is Paul Rubinstein. But Paul Rubinstein Lawrence, he's the chief executive of our council, who seems to have managed to find himself in this incredibly powerful position. Nobody quite understands how. But nevertheless. But Lawrence basically thinks he runs the town. Lawrence thinks he can do things without having to get permission for it. And one of the things that Lawrence did was authorise that we would pay £1.7 million for the starting stage of the Tour de Pedophile. But he had to run it past the council. So when it came up, it hadn't actually gone through the normal process and procedure. So, you know, without wishing to, you know, get too angsty about things or whatever, you know, too het up, like, you know, what's that all about? How come that guy gets to go, right, aye, no bother, we're not going to fund any of our communities, we're not going to do it, right? And the other thing, right, is there's a massive amount of council properties currently empty, that we've got a massive housing crisis, we've got unprecedented numbers of people living in temporary accommodation, and we also have a massive amount of council houses that are not being put back into Ed Index and put back into the market. This is a deliberate act. This is essentially it's an act of social violence, in my opinion, you know. I'm not a social worker. Is there any social workers there with us? From the tourist levy as well, says Belgium, right? So, exactly. The government said that, as is standard for major events, it will publish a full breakdown of costs following the event. So we're bending over backwards for the pedophiles. Is that right? It doesn't sound right. There is no D in Ouija. Let's put it to the public debate. What do we reckon? If you enjoy What the X and you feel you want to support Discontent, which you should do, because we bring you independent art, media and culture, and we would like to do a lot more, you can support us by donating to Discontent on our Ko-fi, which I have pasted there, and I've put it listen, I slept in this morning. I'm allowed to have a wee rest in that. You know what I mean? I've lost all my stuff. Well, here it is here. Feel free to buy me a Christmas coffee. Me, I'm your local friendly independent social worker. Yeah. So what do we think? £1.7 million just found from the City Council for the Tour de Pedophile. Stellar reputation. I can't be bothered reading it. Everything's just a press release. What was that Mark Fisher thing where it was Dan Hind or something like that figured out? It was like 75% of everything you read is just a press release. Quality, eh? This will be the first time both men's and women's events have come to the same nation outside France in the same year. Right. I'll be back again. I will be back. In fact, aye. In fact, I'll be back. Aye. I will be
Kevin
back.
McKenna's footprints of prejudice are stamped all over his latest column. What led to the massacre at Bondi Beach? I'll give you one guess. The Herald, December 16th. His first dig is at Nicola Sturgeon and Humza Yousaf for expressing solidarity days before the Australia atrocity with those arrested for supporting the proscribed group Palestine Action. Then he launches a tirade against Glaswegians in the West End or Strathbungo, semi-retired poshos, all smug and sanctimonious, trying to prove their left-wing credentials by also supporting the Palestinians. Latest figures show more than 70,000 have died in Gaza since Israel began its bombing campaign following the appalling October 7th attacks by Hamas that killed 1,200. Mr. McKenna says calling Israel's actions in Gaza a genocide is a red flag signalling anti-Semitism. Many United Nations bodies say it's genocide, and the International Criminal Court has a warrant out for Benjamin Netanyahu for war crimes. The illegal occupation of Gaza by the Israelis since 1967 is brushed aside by your writer, putting occupation in inverted commas. He's now on his soapbox. Scotland, which was once hailed across the Jewish world as a safe haven, now holds them in contempt. What utter drivel. He is wrong. Is his ego so big he thinks he can speak for an entire country? And I've started, so I'll finish. What else could follow but criticism of First Minister John Swinney for his initial response to Bondi because he failed to mention the victims were Jews? So boring, Mr. McKenna, and so predictable. Andy Stenton, Glasgow.
If 11 people, 12 people had been shot dead queuing for food in Gaza, you wouldn't even know about it. You wouldn't know the name of a single one of the slaughtered queuing for food in Gaza. If they'd been slaughtered on Gaza's beach rather than Bondi Beach, you wouldn't even know about it. No outlet would even report it, let alone urge you to sympathize with it.
So we're at the Edinburgh Christmas Market. This is, I think, our 6th year coming here, and this is the first year we've seen them have everybody go in one entrance, and there's so many people and so much congestion. It seems totally inefficient. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've always been able to just like go in pretty fast, and now so many people.
I tell the two cities, G-Town and Eddie, yous are a bit posh and we're a bit neddy. We reside in the same country, but we always slag one another like a sibling rivalry, two wains from the same fried mirror. Maybe us Ouija's are a bit jealous, cause your city look pure nice. Ours is grey and bogging, cunts out in the street smoking spice. Hey! But it could be the other way around, because Glasgow's a bit more fun. We've got top class patter, and yous cunts have got none. Wait, give me a minute. We've got nice and sleazies, and yous have got sneakies. We've got the Barrowlands, and yous have got sneakies. We've got the Jess and Tims, yous have got the Hibs and Hearts. Only one of the teams ever wins, and I'll tell you, it's not the fucking Jam Tarts. But no, I really do love Edinburgh, with the castle and the dungeon. It's just every time I'm here, I feel like I'm in fucking London. Glasgow's the same, expensive, gentrified, and not really a place for locals. But alas, this is a Scottish trait. We need to be more vocal. So this is a call to end the feud, because it really is a pity. We should rejoice in the fact that we're both equally shitty. We need to band together as family, friends and kin. To you I say, Sor Alaba, and also, fuck your king!
Me broken down the really the done, the really the done. Them over girl have been the victim. I'm on a wash like this shit up me in the kitchen. But tell them stop, breaks, intermission. I be the villain, they didn't want to see me return. I Phoenix prison, me bring the vibes, they said the dumb. They all know the ball slap, they be hitting the front. And in addition, they act like the Mr. Bacon. They call them idiots, cannot compete with us. I'm being serious, the devious, and now the tedious. A little devious, and peevish, you moving evilish, and that's some period. There's bacteria, when the TV superior. I do it bigger, never smaller media. Familiar, check Wikipedia, says I'm the real guy, the media. Where you see me now, just like a TV at immediate. We got brown skin, team sepia. That be batty gal, oh what you there though? Please don't get wood do. Me have to hit him like do. And leave gal in the do. Long batty gal, oh what you there though? Please don't get wood do. They come true like do. And leave gal in the do.
Last but not least, our own area. Right there was once a chippy, a very bloody good one as well, and a bookies right next to it. Just behind the Block 7 graffiti over there used to be a Londis. You know, you can get a cooked breakfast in there. There's a, you know, post office. It's handy for old people to go and get a roll in the morning and a cup of coffee and what else they used to do. All gone. They all provided jobs for local people. All gone. Do you know what this is going to be? Do you know what this is going to be? Student flats. We live down here, working class area, full of working class people, and they're dumping a brand new development, student housing, right next to us. So there's going to be this student housing, Willowbrae Church, earmarked, and Jock's Lodge. A crime against local people.
We need a revolution in Edinburgh against the City Council.
If our homes were to get demolished, we would have nowhere to go.
I don't feel the council have done their duty as factors, and they are not taking responsibility for 40 years of neglect. We shouldn't have to suffer as a result.
Right, can you imagine? This is a crisis, and it's replicated across town. In Westfield Court, it's good that Live and Rent are shining this light on Westfield Court. But can you imagine if this story had been given the same amount of exposure as petty bourgeois Little Nimby and his bookshop? Is there not a comparison to be made there? Dalry and Gorgie are next on the list for mass gentrification. It's already started at Dalry and it's going to work its way through. Edinburgh City Council doesn't operate in the interests of Edinburgh residents. Edinburgh City Council operates in the interest of private developers. Paul Lawrence is a developer's shill. Paul Lawrence is mafioso. Paul Lawrence is the chief executive. How he managed to ascend to this position, there should be an inquiry into that in itself. And our councillors are incapable of defending and representing the rights and requirements of citizens of this city. We need a revolution in Edinburgh against the City Council. We need to remove the party political class from Edinburgh City Council. They've basically destroyed the city and they've handed over the running of the city to CGI Group and private developers. And what they've done is they've violated every aspect of the city. And now we've got a situation where people who have been living in accommodation, the accommodation has been put in a state of managed decline for a long time. They're going to knock down these people's homes. They're intent on knocking it down. At the same time, the same council that are wanting to do that are trying to tell us that we need a multi-billion-pound infrastructure project in the name of the tram that's going to tear up the city, that's going to scar the city beyond recognition, that's going to impact us all again. Paul Lawrence still hasn't got North Bridge sorted out. North Bridge is years and years over time frame and millions of pounds over budget. Any other chief executive in any other council in any other part of the planet would have been sacked and told to get his jaws. And somehow we're all just saying nothing about it. Paul Lawrence can walk about like Don Mafioso. Aye. So like at Northfield, the right wing's gone. Jock's Lodge is going to be flattened. The arts complex is going to be flattened. They're going to turn that all into student flats. They're going to turn plonk all those student flats there at Northfield. And there's no defence against any of it, is there? It's just all happening. It's just like this is happening, and there's fuck all you can do about it. That's the message, isn't it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how people feel about the areas. It doesn't matter, what was there before. Thank you very much, Katrina, for your donation. Much appreciated. But this is just the vibe, isn't it? We saw in that clip earlier there was homeless people literally sleeping in tents at the side of the council building. McFadden says Rubinstein signs off on the 1.7 million, then looks out of his window on Market Street and he watches the homeless having a shite outside of those tents. Well, perhaps he does, but But how can you not be How can you not be irritated? But we have no city unity, do we? And we have a political class and a councillor class who are just entirely supine to these capital interests. In fact, it's not even the councillors that make decisions. It's the officials. The council is just run by officials. So they obviously do alright out of all this, like, you know. I go to my wee carers group in St Margaret's House to do my weaving class. We just can't have nice things anymore because we don't create capital. Basically, I think it's basically the case that they don't want anyone in the city unless you're off a particular economic bracket. I think that's essentially the message that's being sent. That's the vibe I'm getting anyway. Danny boy, should we have a look at what's happened to him?
Right, what's happening, people? Well, I made a video, but I couldn't really make it because there was threats in it, you know what I mean? So I had to take it down, but I can't believe.
I'll let you look into that in your own time. I guess that's what happens if you're of a certain disposition on the internet. Why is... hold on, right, so let's get this straight. The hunger strikers thing is really serious. We've addressed this Ewan McComb, Brian Spanner thing before, but let's see, right, okay? Let's just have a look for the sake of having a look, right? Because, what's his name from... Kevin Rowland is saying something about it. Right, UK Palestine activists have been on prison hunger strike for 6+ weeks. They will die soon if David Lammy and the UK government don't agree to meet with them. Support the strikers and follow prisoners for Palestine. Let's see what he's saying.
Hi there, my name's Kevin Rowland. I'm best known for my work with Dexys and Dexys Midnight Runners. Today, I'm standing in solidarity with the 8 hunger strikers who are being held without trial and without any conviction in British prisons, and they've been there for over a year. They're now reaching the critical 50-day stage. So far, David Lammy has refused to see them. We want to do everything we can to put pressure on this UK government to see them and to grant their demands, which are immediate bail and the cessation of repression against Palestinian protesters. More details in the comments. Thank you.
Oh, gee, no. So Ewan McComb is probably a lifelong Dexys fan, right? And he's pissed off because Kevin Rowland has, as with Edwin Moore, I'm weeping into my porridge because Kevin Rowland has shown solidarity with these young people who are involved in this self-protest of this hunger strike. What is it about our contemporary commentariat and their public incontrollable cynicism towards those who wish to oppose genocide? I think that this period, this last 2 years, because I'll tell you what it is, because McComb, like so many of the artists who have hidden and shied away and disappeared into cowardice, are essentially a feature of neoliberal culture. McComb is no less a neoliberal culture merchant as all the other neoliberal culture merchants. Their very existence is, their salaried existence is sustained by the preservation of neoliberal culture in this late stage capitalist environment. So McComb basically is an expression of that in some respect. McKenna's statement the other day, McKenna's behaviour the other day was outrageous. It's hard to conceive that in some area these people are not being remunerated in some way. It's difficult to really get that, to figure out where the motivation for some of this comes from. But this notion, this idea that there should be this perpetual bile and cynicism, and the other thing that bothers me most of all about it is that all of these people that are involved in these actions, these very these actions that have impacted them, they've literally been incarcerated. These are all young people. I just can't get my head around this old fart, total and utter cynicism towards young people who are morally outraged at the massacre of innocents and have, done what historically most young, they were always. Is it something in themselves? Is it a self-revulsion? Is it because they themselves were once of that type of individual, and they look back on themselves with a sort of disgust and contempt, and perhaps the disgust and contempt that they're looking at is just their own reflection now in their bloated kind of malaise as they get to this sort of decrepit stage in their existence, and they look in the mirror and they just see their paunch and they just remember that they were once able to run for a bus eating a chippy, you know what I mean, and now they can barely get out of their fucking armchairs. I think there's something. I think there's something really perverse has happened in this last 2 years to the whole of culture. In the sense it's been a great exposure, a phenomenal exposure. I mean, you would expect cynicism, you would expect contrarianism, whatever. I don't know. But I find the contempt towards these young people and everybody that's supported Palestine, that wants to show solidarity with Palestine, it's disturbing, and it really makes you wonder, who's actually pulling the strings here and where? Where does this type of thinking come from? Where does this area of thought appear from? This idea that pro-Palestinian protest or anti-genocide protest is by itself inherently anti-Semitic. That's an outrageous claim to make, and it's continually made. And it's that sense of if you say the same thing enough, it's like you repeat a lie often enough. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. And I don't know, man. I'm just kind of quite astounded at the way a lot of these people carry on. But it looks like McComb's upset because one of his old heroes has defected to the other side, shall we say, or something like that, This is an interesting one, right? The whole Epstein-Chomsky thing. I find this pretty interesting, I have to say. Initially, the sort of liberal fucking gimp in me was like, oh, it's Noam Chomsky. Of course probably just, you know, you kind of afford him this kind of like, you know, bumbling intellectual element to his character. You like, you know, just, oh, it's America and this sort of populist notion of people that become known and all the rest of it. But the more it goes on, Marx and Engels, Lenin, Jeffrey Epstein dealt in three things: intelligence, dirty money, and teen girls. Which of those dealings was Chomsky part of? And you have to say, it's not a good look for the old socialist fossil, eh? It's not a great look, like, you know. Was he just duped, you know? And what does that say? What does that then do for Chomsky's work? I struggle a bit with that. There's a lot of people, you know, it doesn't. It's hard to get your head around because, you know. Thank you very much. There's so many things that he's said that are structurally sound, you know. So I don't really know how you deal with it. I mean, Foucault, right? I mean, I'm not saying they're the same person, right? But Foucault was obviously a massive nonce. They were all fucking nonsense. Like, all the arts folk and that, they all get all excited about Ginsberg and Burroughs and that. They were all fucking beasts, do you know what I mean? But then you're like, oh, Burroughs wrote all this great sort of sagacious stuff, you know, Ginsberg was the voice of a generation, and you're going like that, yeah, but they were nonsense, like, you know. Burroughs shot his wife. Burroughs put an apple or something on his wife's head when he was pissed. He was like, watch this, I'll shoot the apple, and he fucking shot her in the head. And everybody was like, it's William Burroughs, eh? That's what these folk are like, man, you know. What's up? New donation from Riki Baron Skapelstrasser. Great. I don't know. Thank you very much. But I don't know, the Chomsky thing. The Chomsky thing is a bit weird, you know. I cannot possibly dismiss everything that Chomsky's ever said, all of his observations, on account of the fact that he's been hanging out with Epstein. But it is a bit strange, to say the least. You know, I noticed that Sarwar and Scottish Labour, and you know, they're already into their sort of mad 2026 campaigning, and it's only going to get more intense and more insufferable as we get closer to May, you know. Rona says nobody's perfect. I guess that's right, eh? It's like, it's not the sum of his parts. Skeely G, the BBC has suddenly discovered Chomsky after studiously ignoring him all his life. Well, maybe there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? Maybe the revolution is going to be sparked because everybody will go and start figuring out who's this Chomsky guy, and they'll be like, he said some interesting stuff. Yeah, I find it difficult, like, you know. I find it difficult to kind of make any huge perspective on this. Let's have a look at this. The BBC, watch the Scottish town. Parker says changes nothing about Chomsky's writing and conclusions. I'm inclined to agree. How can it, you know, that's, yeah, okay. Hey, he hung out with Jeffrey. And he was on the Lolita Express. Hey, so what? He wrote Manufacturing Content. Flippin' heck. Let's have a look at this.
Love is our destiny.
You know what I mean? This country needs a big change.
I've not got a lot of good things to say about Nigel Farage, to be honest with you.
I'll be what reform for the next government for Scotland.
This is Whitburn, West Lothian. It's the home of Reform UK's first election win in Scotland, a council by-election.
I think people need change.
What sort of change?
Two-tier policing, NHS, get the NHS back to where it used to be. We were a fantastic NHS, we need it back.
Whitburn is a former mining town directly between Glasgow and Edinburgh, with areas of high deprivation. It's historically Labour. In recent years, the SNP has
His
done
voice
well
is
here.
quite nippy,
And while
isn't it?
this is just one council by-election, it feels like Reform is gaining traction in areas like this in Scotland.
You went back historically, this would be like a Labour area. Why do you think people are moving away from that?
Look at the state of England with Labour. You know what I mean? Mass immigration, no services. It's like Labour doesn't work for the people, do they? Everybody's skint because of all the high taxes, fuels, everything else.
Not everyone is happy to see Reform making waves.
And what do you think about Nigel Farage? Do you think he'd go down well in a town like this, or...?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think what he's promising is genuine.
I feel like they're a lot less inclusive of like diverse people. I don't know, they want to kind of bring things back to like the old days, the 1930s.
There's a Holyrood election next May, and polls suggest Reform could be serious players. A new party that's adding some uncertainty to how it could all pan out.
Food price.
Noisy Parker's bang on. Noisy Parker's bang on. This kind of frenzy about Reform. The rise of Reform is simply the failure of the existing Scottish establishment, the Scottish governing political class and its performative opposition. Reform are just another neoliberal entity. They're not going to change particularly anything. No doubt they'll be incredibly inept because the people that they draft in, if they manage to land any MSPs, either through a direct electoral process or through the list, they're not going to be of much calibre. But then none of the political class are of much calibre. Parker calls it absolutely correct. This idea that there is some grand difference between, Reform, outwardly off, in many respects, outwardly racist, divisive in many respects, but no less so than the practical failures that the existing incumbent political class have provided us with. And being dragged into this pantomime where Parker makes the point, the Scottish establishment shitting itself. It's essentially that. It's about a changing of the order of power positions being shifted, but that would not make any material change whatsoever to the actual public. And it's kind of that point, isn't it? It's the idea that the existing political class are actually concerned about our lives. That in itself is a farce. The neoliberal political class are all the same. It's something I've made the point continually, pretty much over the last decade, continually made this point. People who still participate in neoliberal party politics are doing their intellect a disservice. It's an embarrassing position to take. It demonstrates that you're lazy. It demonstrates that you're intellectually lazy. It demonstrates that you've taken no great interest in where we are currently at this late stage capitalist hell, And it's a very tired situation that we're moving into now. You could argue, devil's advocate or whatever, that the injection of Reform into the sort of body politic or the public consciousness or the threat of this new funded entity coming in to try to soak up power by crowbarring division. The key point, to the Whitburn the Whitburn election there was the turnout, 22%. 22%. That in itself is the indication, This is what our contemporary political class have done to suffrage. This is what our contemporary political class have done to our democratic participation. They have eroded all faith, all confidence, all desire to have anything to do with the electoral process. You cannot blame a single human being for being thoroughly disinterested in this poxy pantomime, People are spending 50 quid on their shopping, they're coming back with a box of Weetabix and a fucking loaf of bread, It's utterly disgusting, the state of our society. And none of the political parties have got the slightest concept, clue or vision on how to alter anything. And so now what we've got these modes of the establishment media and the press who are wedded to certain sections of the political class, who are propagandising on behalf of each other, uniting against reform. But you watch what happens. You watch what happens if how X amount of reform MSPs find themselves in the Scottish Parliament in May. You watch how, when it comes to certain issues, how all of a sudden they're unified on the same issues. You watch them all put on their Christmas jumpers and their Santa hats when it comes to Christmas time to raise some profile for some wee children's charity or something, and all of a sudden they're in the same room smiling for the same photograph. That's the political class, right? That's the political class. Any politician who had any ideology worth its salt and were genuinely opposed to the perversion of neoliberal party politics, they wouldn't stand for any picture with any of these people. If I was elected to that parliament and somebody says, go and stand in that room with this twat here who you despise, I'd tell them to go and stick it. I'm going to shake the hand of somebody or stand next to somebody who's involved in the corruption and perversion of our entire society. I'm not interested in that. And nor should any politician with any integrity. And that's the difference. It's all performance, it's all pantomime, it's all PR. Gary Glitter did some great songs. Welcome to What the X. Let me return shortly. Again, I'll be back in just a second.
Worst neighborhoods in Edinburgh. Calder Gardens. Entrances to these houses is terrible. I don't know how you can live in that kind of property. Okay, I understand they live for free, but anyway. How I say, no thanks. Another area in Edinburgh where I will never stay even for free. It's so bad. Every time when you're arriving here, there's so many cars with smashed windows. Everyone selling medicine illegal. These houses are so bad. I don't know how you can live here. I'm doing Amazon delivery in these houses. It's always a nightmare to deliver parcels. There's a huge maze in that house. Phew. I don't know how you... Why you living here, people? Why? There's better place in Edinburgh.
Hi there, guy. See that little prick that keeps going about saying it's a bit cold or Wester Hills, and he's going about all Edinburgh saying this is bad, this is that. Mate, you look at sound like you're from Scotland. So why are you doing that? And trust me, believe me. How the interest, man. See that wee prick, right? That keeps saying one about Wester Hills and Calder and other Niddrie and like Inchin and other places in Edinburgh. Mate, you don't even sound like you're from Scotland, pal. You know what I mean? So why have you got such a negative attitude towards? Why are you here then? Why are you here? Why you got such a negative attitude?
Respect to Dan King there, he's like, what are you on about? Going around slagging everybody off in that. Fuck you. The King pours a perfect pint of Guinness. The truth. What is this? They get in these big Twitter rants, with people. How is the Union Jack racist? Are you on the glue? So you get all these mad, like, you know. What's happening with Celtic? They kept the guy on. Fair play. Massive attack. Brian Eno, Caribou led hundreds of musicians in calling for Live Nation to drop operations in Israel. We can no longer allow our music to be used to artwash apartheid, genocide or oppression. against any people. Call me call. In case you missed it, since 2018 SNP ministers have met with Airbnb, which lists 350 properties in illegal Israeli settlements 52 times, including twice during the party's October conference. Do you think they wore their Palestine badges? Well, we might be getting to that time again this morning. Have you subscribed to Discontent? Have you followed me on Instagram at NonEadyFeeks? Do you follow me on X at VoteBPB? Have you retweeted What the X? Have you retweeted the stream? Have you liked, shared and supported? I'd like to take this moment, I would like to take this moment to thank everybody who has supported Discontent forever really, but certainly over the last 2 years and certainly since we started streaming What the X. To everybody who has donated and supported and liked and shared what we do, it is genuinely hugely appreciated. So a sincere thank you to you, and I hope that all of you have a very Merry Christmas. But yeah, I would like to say thank you to that. Thank you to Arpagnon, who's helped put the website together. Thanks to folk who have contributed to the website so far. We'll be developing that more in the new year. And it's a big year next year for some of us. But what will it bring? Will it bring peace or will it bring war? Let's pray for peace, yeah? Let's pray for peace. Aye, you have a good break. You have a good break too, David Swift. I think we have reached the natural conclusion for this morning's What the X. Raj, is that Raj 1? Madame Guy, all the names, all the faces. Keep on doing what you're doing, Nibru. I'll keep going. So long as yous are here, so long as yous are all with me, I'll be there for you, fighting the good fight. Well, party people, it has been a pleasure. This is the last What the X before till after Christmas, and this will be me saying goodbye to you until we meet again. But keep your eyes and ears peeled. Now then. We're not the sum of our parts. Anyway, the 4-0s. Easy, glory to the Highbees. Merry Christmas, one and all. It's a nice wee vibe this morning. Respect to yourselves. Things to go and check out. Check out Lindsay Dre's new album. Check out the Gutter Blood album. Good Dogs Will Never Die. And I hope you all have a nice Friday and a great weekend and a very Merry Christmas. I'm going to leave us this morning. I was still checking the vibe, the Chronics vibe. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. So I'm going to leave us this morning. And Jaylee CCTV, I need to check the dates on it. Where is it? Just before we go. Where is it? I'll have to go into hell before. Oh, there's Melrose.
People don't look at what's right and wrong anymore. They look at things just no being as bad as, if that makes sense. So instead of being like that, right, that's wrong, I'm not going to do it again, people will be like, right, that was fucked up, but at least it's not as bad as, and then they'll find something that was more fucked up to try and weigh it up against and justify the wrongdoings that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm just old school for having morals and knowing what's right and wrong, but generation's a bit fucked. That's just the way people are moving now. People aren't looking at what's right and what's wrong. People are just looking at try to compare themselves to no be as bad as something that's worse. You know what I'm saying?
Right, well, here's
people don't look at what's right and wrong.
Here's to morals and
I just got a 9.5.
What was it? Jay Lee. Was it Jam Harvey? They've got a show here. 27th of the 12th in Glasgow. Audio. They have this event on. Luby Leoch. A whole bunch of great cats for Filament. I would have liked to have attended that. I'm unable to attend that, but I would suggest you go and see that. I would suggest you go and check that out. And so I'm going to leave you with Jam Harvey and Jaylee CCTV, and this is All or Nothing. Catch you soon, folks. Take care.
Cheers, bro. Jam. What's happening, man? How are you? What's happening, not bad. You got any of that stuff left? Aye, mate. What are you looking for? Just whatever what you got. I could get you half of what I got. Nah, bro. It needs to be all or nothing.
It's all or nothing, they half stepping when we're working. Go the extra mile just to make sure that we're learning. Always got an eye on the money that we're earning, so you can't take away what we've got, and that's the purpose. It's all or nothing, and that's no up for discussion. No half-hearted, cause we're putting all we've got in. There's only one choice, can you lose but win? Always stay on point like the music that we're pushing. It's all or nothing. I'm not doing this all for nothing. It's all or nothing. All these cunts are doing my nothing. It's all or nothing. Can't count to number nothing. It's all or nothing. Here is coming and it's all or nothing. We get it all we've got, try and make it to the top. I'm addicted to the chase and I feel I can't stop. Need to take this chance, can't wait a bit and hope. So we're up all night, putting work until we drop. Moving at the speed of light, staying focused all night. Feel the pain and hurt inside, need to get back up and fight. Feel the rage and take flight, see the finish line in sight. Block out all the distractions and hope the money makes it alright. Nothing to lose, but we've got everything to gain. Nobody in a corner, so we do it on our own. Need to push this hard through the wind and the rain. Never playing by the rules, cause we came here to change the game. It's all or nothing, we half stepping when we're working. Go the extra mile just to make sure that we're learning. Always got an eye on the money that we're earning, so you can't take away what we've got, and that's the purpose. It's all or nothing, and that's no up for discussion. No half-hearted, cause we're putting all we've got in. There's only one choice, can you lose but win? Always stay on point like the music that we're pushing. It's all or nothing. I'm not doing this all for nothing. It's all or nothing. All these cunts are doing my nothing. It's all or nothing. Can't count to number nothing. It's all or nothing. Here is coming and it's all or nothing. When day 4's tonight, The future looks bright, cause they all mean she was, but your mucker means she's makes wet. And what they've got them selling is something we weren't buying, cause your mucker still try to get deed. I live trying and they'll try and hodge you down to the ground, but they're betting, if we can't stand for something, then we're bound to fall for it, and so we sit on our arse. There's no pretending, they'll trap you in your body to use your mind as a weapon. Watch the way you're talking, look brah, it's fucking bogging. So rub your eyes with caution, cause jam's still worth a watching. Whitney undercutting, your mucker's never seen it coming. When I met his cunt and govern, and he asked as much I'm putting. So it's all nothing, we half-stepping when we're working. Go the extra mile just to make sure that we're running. Always got an eye on the money that we're earning, so you can't take away what we've got, and that's the purpose. It's all nothing, and that's no up for discussion. No half-hearted, cause we're putting all we've got in. There's only one choice, can you lose but win? Always stay on point like the music that we're pushing. It's all nothing, it's all nothing, it's all nothing, it's all nothing.